So the first part of the Real Housewives of Reunion, I mean New Jersey reunion aired, and I have to say it was okay. I didn't think it was something crazy that jumped out. It wasn't all that exciting to me. It was just what it was. Now, I did like the fact that, Teresa and Melissa, who hadn't seen each other since they filmed the show a year ago, they saw each other for the first time on the reunion. So, they came out guns blazing. I really wish that Melissa would have went in a little harder on Teresa, especially when you were bringing up the neighbor that she wound up hooking up with, your neighbor, and she denied it. Oh, we didn't go out. But then cut to the scenes where they showed Teresa in a group photo with Melissa and her brother and the guy that was the neighbor of Melissa and Joe that she was seeing. Even Kim D admitted that this was the tea on the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. Shout out to them because they be bringing the tea too. They were actually referenced a lot in the finale. I mean, in the reunion too. A lot of the tea that they spilled on their show prior to, especially the thing that we're going to hear about with Jacqueline revealing that it was Joe and Melissa who put Teresa and Joe Giudice in federal prison. So now that's when it started getting good towards the end. All the other stuff was like, ugh. Fuda had this stink look on her face. Cabral definitely brought it with the attitude, that Staten Island attitude. I was living for it. Dolores, who Wendy likes to call Black Dolores, she definitely held her own in the finale. I mean, in the reunion, where she was talking about Paulie is not divorced from his wife. You might want to work on that if you plan on getting married to him. All the other women didn't really get much to say. Jen basically sat there being Teresa's cheerleader as usual. What would you expect? I guess we'll get more in the second part. But the real gag came towards the end of the episode when Teresa accused Melissa and her brother Joe, who was of being the ones that called the feds on her and ex-husband Joe Giudice, resulting in them being sent to prison. Now, this tea came from Jacqueline Larita revealed this on when she was interviewed by David Yontef and Kim D, which I know a lot of people get mad because Kim D kept interjecting, but that's what she does. Now, back in 2014, Teresa and Joe pleaded guilty to 41 counts of fraud following a deal struck with federal prosecutors. She got a 15-month federal prison sentence, while Joe Giudice got 41 months. Teresa was released from prison in 2015 and returned home to her kids. Joe Giudice completed his prison sentence in 2019 and then was deported back to Italy. They divorced shortly after his deportation. And I think she said that was because when she got out of prison, when she was in prison, she missed, I believe her father died and her mother died, I believe. Like, there was a lot of deaths in her family. She couldn't go to the funeral. She missed her kid's graduation. There was a lot of things that were happening in her life that because she went to prison and because of what happened with her husband that she trusted, he was doing all kinds of shit and probably having Teresa sign papers and she's not thinking or looking into those papers. So she's like, I'm just going to sign whatever, because I trust you. And then it is what it is. But she got caught up in the matrix because when your husband's doing criminal shit and the feds is coming after y'all, they think, oh, you're a package deal, birds of a feather. You knew. Even though I always said Teresa's less than smart. Bless her heart and everything, but she's less than smart. Let's be clear. When we watch her on TV and certain things she doesn't understand, it's like when Margaret called her tree stumps and she thought she was talking about her legs. It's like, no, she's talking about the tree huggers, which is her fans. Which I also think All About the Real Housewives is run by tree huggers. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Now, for years, if y'all been paying attention, Teresa has accused former co-star and friend Caroline Manzo of being the person that called the feds on them. She also accused former co-star Jacqueline Larita of putting her in jail. I do remember that, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. But when she rekindled her friendship with Jacqueline, Teresa claimed during the reunion that Jacqueline told her that Melissa was the one who put her in jail. But this is what I don't get, because if this was true, why didn't Jacqueline, at the time when she was being roasted by Teresa and all these crazy accusations, didn't she come out then and say, it was not me? I know who it is. I'll tell you who it is. especially when you don't have any loyalty to Melissa and Joe, as you stated in the interview that you did over at the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. So why didn't you say it then? You waited till now to bring this up. Because to me, it always seems like Teresa wants people around her who are anti Joe and Melissa. I'm not saying Joe and Melissa are innocent, but I'm just trying to look at it from both sides of the coin. Like I said, I really wish Melissa would have brought it even further. Like, if you're gonna come out with accusations that hit Teresa with the 1-2 punch, you got to go in for the kill. You got to go in for the knockout. Don't sit up in there and just like throw a softball and then don't really go in and really knock her out, because Teresa's gonna come with her stuff too, and she's gonna come harder. That's what I'm saying. For me, if I'm on a reunion and people trying to come for me, I'm going in for the kill. I'll go for the juggler. I don't give a damn. Now, with all this, do I believe that it was Melissa and Joe? I don't know if this is true. She said she spoke to the fans. I don't know if you should be revealing that information that you spoke to the fans and sent her. But overall, if this is true, that your own family member, and look, crazier things have happened where sometimes it be your own family members that will do you dirtier than your friends or anybody else in your family. I mean, that you surround yourself with, not family. But family be the worst. And you're supposed to trust family. But if this is true, that is the worst thing that someone could possibly do. It ain't no good gonna come to you, Joe Gorga, till you do right by your sister, if this is true.